Hello, my name is Michael G, and today we have another video, and this is the implications of the reign of truth. And there are definitely implications, because now, with all the videos that you've been seeing lately, we're coming to a point where the reign of truth will break this relationship that we are in, as long as we are part of the truth. In other words, just because the truth is evident doesn't mean that one of these two people, or both of them, are able to see the truth, because you have to be part of the truth. The Bible talks about he who has ears to hear or eyes to see. Ears to hear, eyes to see, or either way. Both these people are combined to make the lie. The inner lie. So what do we do now that we have come to the knowledge of the truth? As we speak the truth, our inner identity becomes our outer reality at the same time. What will happen is we will come to points where we're going to have to make choices. And the choices are now rooted in that we could see hell. And we could see the light. And it's not that we could see hell that we make this choice, because you can't see this unless you're part of the truth. Other people will dismiss this and they'll think like it's nothing. It's foolishness. The Bible talks about this. That they'll say that the wisdom of God is foolishness to those perishing. So what do? I'll give you a couple of micro instances where this will work. You're at work and you would turn a blind eye to something that is not right. You can't do that anymore, because if you turn that blind eye, you become the enabler. We have a lot of blind eyes going on in politics. We have a lot of people that are allowing the status quo. We have entities, companies, people doing things because of bribes, because their boss told them to, or following orders. Once you've come to the truth, you can't just follow orders. Because if your orders that you're following are going to be in opposition to the truth, then what you're doing is that you are perpetuating your lie. And as long as you perpetuate this lie, you're going to be kept in this lie. It's like almost like a double reinforcement. As the truth starts coming into you, it's, as the Bible says, the leaven. Leaven, brings up like yeast. And it always talks about beware the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is the leaven of the Pharisees, which is perpetuating this relationship. The idea is to get out of this relationship. So now a lot of people think that, they're going to go after this cause, or there's these big truther movements. All these people over there are bad, and we're going to stop them. Let me tell you, you're not going to stop nothing with will. You can't stop it with will unless you use force. But once you use force to eradicate this, then you become the new person in this relationship. This could be countries. This doesn't have to just be people. The United States, back, I forgot when it happened, but DuPont, before it was DuPont, was another company, and there was something called the Bhopal incident, where in India, DuPont, was it DuPont, Dow Chemical or DuPont, one of those two, I forgot the name exactly, or Union Carbide, it was Union Carbide, they let out some MIC and it killed thousands and thousands of people. So the Indian government didn't want to anger the United States company so that it can keep receiving money. So in a sense, the President, William Anderson, I think was his name at the time, was allowed to leave the country of India and not face charges, because he was the president. He was supposed to face charges for the corruption, what happened, and the circumstances. Well, all that allowed to happen, but you can't stop that by going after these people with your will. What you can do is you could be part of the light to stop this and not be involved. And if enough people do that, guess what happens? The entire world changes. Everything changes because we will not feed into the lie that's been permeating this world for thousands and thousands of years. You could see the corruption now, how even the Republican and the Democratic Party, it doesn't matter which one you support, they're both part of the lie. They're both lying. One's lying to maintain its status quo, or it's pulling their party line, and the other one's lying for their own party line. You can't stop that madness. You can't stop what's going on in this world unless you become part of the wickedness of it, or you become part of the lie, because then you're going to have to use will to stop that, and will's not going to do it. What you're going to do is you're going to flee this relationship personally. And then what will happen is your head will start to see clearer, you'll make better decisions, you will get away from the narcissist psychopath, and your life will change. It's been some time since I made the last video, a couple of weeks, and since then I imagine a lot of people reflected on some of the videos, and it kind of puts you now in a position like, what am I supposed to do? Well, you got to take smaller steps until the bigger steps get taken away for you. In other words, like, I'll give you an example. I have customers and I do high-end sound systems, and I'm always dealing with these kind of guys. So you can imagine I'm not this guy. So he or she is not too happy dealing with me sometimes. I've actually told customers that I can't work for them because I don't like them. Don't like them as people. And couldn't see myself doing that. Recently, a customer was going to purchase something from us because we make these pen-related products, and we ended up we wanted to return the money to the person because we don't want them to have our product, because we just don't like the person. And we don't like them because they use subterfuge or something went wrong, and then you could see their true who they are. So, are you willing? What's your God? The Bible talks about that. Deny about your mother, your father, your sister. Do you love these more than me? Well, a lot of people who misread that would think that means that you have to, love Jesus more than your mother or father. Well, that's not really what it's saying. It's saying that you're going to be in relationships with your family, and what's more important? Is the truth more important, or is maintaining the lie more important? A lot of people in families do things because of money. One family member might have money, and then everybody kind of sucks up to them. And then when you suck up to the person with the money, you become that person. It's never good when you're here. Because when you're here, what you're doing is you are still creating a false reality for that person. So you actually manufacture the narcissist that punishes you. And that's the point. We have to get you into a new mind. The old way of doing things could be this, or could be this. Most of the time, if you're watching this video, it's more of these people. Because this person is so set in their ways that they can't even get the slightest infraction of their head structure. So they will immediately discard this video. Immediately. I've had conversations with these people, and when they're dead wrong, it doesn't matter. They double down on their being wrong. And by them doubling down on the wrong, they're actually creating more of a problem for themselves. So, what does that mean? So this is our self now. And what has to happen is the new truth, or the new mind of Christ, has to form. And then you're going to have your, I can't draw that well, so don't expect anything. This new mind now is going to be the mind of truth. It's going to be your inner truth radiating with your outer truth. You now become the light. the light. This light to most people is invisible. They cannot see this light because the entire world is in this darkness. So now you have now been set apart. You have been set apart from lies. This is ultimately what's going to happen. You're going to be set apart from the lies. What does being set apart make you? Holy. You see, you remember about the box? The box, the big box, where everybody goes, they call it the church. God is not in a box. The church is the body. The church is in the body, the assembling, neglect not the assembling of ourselves. This is the part that's supposed to be assembled. What God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. This is what God joined together. People get these scriptures all backwards because they are part of the darkness. You could read the Bible day and night and you'll get nothing out of it but will worship. And how can you be in truth when you're already here? Adam and Eve, once they were out of the garden, Adam no more was able to speak. Only Eve was speaking. And with Eve speaking, the first thing she says is, I got a man from Jehovah. And that man, which was Cain, killed Abel. And Abel was the good. So we're still in this curse until the righteousness of God sets us apart through truth, which is the faith, and makes us holy. So now, as holy, set apart because of truth, our lives are going to reflect that. Another thing that you see is in the Old Testament, all kinds of crazy things was going on with everybody. But once they got into the New Testament, things changed. They weren't having the same sins in their life. Once the resurrection happened, God sent His Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit of truth. The macro or the large implications of the reign of truth is that the wars can stop, is that once people embrace this, actually once the people who are supposed to embrace this, the ones that God set apart, will be holy. The rest will be terrified to death. Because the implications of this are just so awesome. I mean, the truth of everything shows you space, time, particle physics. The Large Hadron Collider is still part of let us make man in our image. In fact, I love doing this. I just love showing this. The Large Hadron Collider. This is in, I don't know, Sweden, France or something, or Switzerland and France. It's underground. Guess what this does is it smashes hadrons together and it smashes protons. So it takes two protons, or whatever amount of protons, and it accelerates them close to the speed of light, and then they smash into each other. Okay? You see, when you look at the narcissist, they're trying to escape their body. They have to add more dark energy into their body so the light doesn't come to their head. They're trying to accelerate. They become a massive head structure. This becomes a massive head structure. Now, what does the Large Hadron Collider look like? Look at that. That's what it looks like. You have the major 27 kilometers. Where is it? Underground. How many times have I said this person is space-time? They're underground. Large Hadron Collider. It spins in here, And then when it gets into enough speed, they spin the protons around, and one of the things that they can create in here is a black hole. They can create black holes if they have enough energy, smashing two heads together, accelerating the particle, and I consider the particle or the proton masculine and the neutron feminine, smashing heads. Isn't that interesting? It's just fun it's fun and ominous and scary and powerful at the same time. This is why the truth of everything has no boundaries. You can look at the other side of this and look at what people do with the neutron. Alright? So what's interesting about the neutron? Well, if you're smashing protons together, you can get a black hole, and that's what the Large Hadron Collider is trying to do. And what's it trying to figure out? Gravity. It's so great. It's trying to find out gravity or mass. Where does mass come from? That's what they're trying to figure out with the Large Hadron Collider. I said, I'm not making this stuff up. You can go look at it. Now, what do we do with a neutron? Well, we have our mushroom clouds and nuclear power with the neutron. So this one, if you smash the heads together, you get a black hole, which you can look at the sun as being the masculine head, giving off light. The neutron, you get nuclear bombs. I forgot which uranium you use, but you use uranium-238 or something, and you hit it with a neutron, and then what happens is, as it gives off heat, it also gives off more neutrons. It reproduces. And this starts another chain reaction, and that gives off more neutrons. And that gives off more neutrons. So you see, what happens is, during a chain reaction, all these neutrons give off two more neutrons, gives off energy. That's where we get our power. That's where we get our atomic bombs. And had said before many times, the power is in the feminine. The power is in the feminine. So, how does this tie into implications? A lot of people are going to be doing a lot of things different. You're already noticing it in your life. You've probably already seen relationships change. Because again, as you come into your body in truth, you're going to start radiating. Okay? And you're going to radiate truth and light. The people in these distortions are darkness. As you get closer to them, their darkness starts to manifest more clearly. So when they talk to you, it'll start getting weird. You're going to be, this person especially, forget it. This person definitely does. This person will try and create more tension. This person will create more tension. A narcissist will try and create more tension. As they try and escape their own truth, they're going to do the same thing to you. This person, so this person's not even going to be near you, create tension. What this person's going to do, it's like talking to the wall. It's going to be like you are talking to the most obstinate person on the planet. You would not be able to talk to these people. So that's, in turn, you almost become invisible because now you're coming into the light. You will not be able to relate like you did in the past. You will be able to communicate, but you're going to find there's going to be tension. There's going to be trouble in this in the beginning because you're not going to understand. You're going to think, what happened? You know, what happened to all the years that we've known each other and we've spent all this time together? Because all that was based on darkness. When you're out of this, you're not going to be able to relate to the people that are still tied to this relationship. So the implications will be that you will be set apart. This is the holiness that God talks about, not the guy in the box having the nice fancy clothes, or the person who's sitting there who thinks that they're a rabbi, ribbi, whatever they think they are, or the priest, or the Muslim cleric, or the Buddha, the Bigga, whatever you want to call them. All those people who are all dressed up, once they tell you that they chose and made a decision or followed some law, then they are still in the lie. Because the truth, the first truth is, salvation is of Jehovah. God does this to you. He sets you apart. He brings you into the light. Once you're in the light, you can no longer participate in what you used to participate. You just can't. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to be step by step. But as you get closer to the light, your light will shine more and more and more. And you will have greater peace. You might not have certain work things that you used to. Some of your aspirations will change, and they'll change for the better. Even if you have a job or something, you used to never have any money, because when you're part of the lie, somehow you could never hold on to like 10 cents or $1 or $5 or $100, $1,000, doesn't matter. You can't hold on to it. Once you come into this light, you will notice things will kind of start working in your direction. When you're here, everything goes wrong. Every decision you make, everything you set up, it just burns to hell. When you're here, everything you do is based on taking it from somebody else. Okay? This is how this lie operates. The funny thing is that, like I had said before, and I've been saying this for over 10 years, that the feminine is rising. All of a sudden, we have all this going on in the world where even a lot of big companies like this are not going to be able to stay afloat anymore with their employees. The customers are not coming around. They're not making the money that they used to. Now they got to go beg the government for millions of dollars in bailouts. They're unsustainable. Our society is not going to be sustainable when this keeps going. Eventually, this will be destroyed. And we have come to the time where the Bible actually says that it's going to be like Nineveh. And in Nineveh, and also the queen from the south is going to rise. The queen from the south is the feminine energy is going to rise. And it better get a good answer. This person doesn't have the right answer, and this person does not have the right answer. The right answer is truth and light. Truth and light. One more thing about the light, if you do find out about it. The speed of light can travel across 186,000 miles in a split second. Light doesn't have mass. So if light doesn't, remember when Jesus was resurrected, he was able to go against gravity, stepping on the water. He was standing on water. Water is like the feminine wanting to pull you down. Like the mass wants to pull you down. When you're here, you're creating mass. And when you're trying to escape, you're trying to get above. However, your head now becomes massive as well. There's a lot going on with the truth of everything. And it might take watching even my older videos for everything to sink in, because even my older videos from 5, 6, 7 years ago are just as accurate today. There might be some fine-tuning here and there, some words I might have said wrong, but at the end of the day, this is unsustainable. This will just bring you misery. And now, when everything happening in the world, where the whole world is on pause or on stop, you can really see how the lies are starting to manifest themselves, because everybody's going crazy. when these horrors start getting worse and worse, those that are set apart, those that are holy in the truth and the light, will be able to circumvent them and have a life. And that's really incredible, that we could still have a life even though everything is going crazy. And remember, the truth is of the utmost importance. Anytime you engage in lies, you are putting yourself in a position to have more lies. Got to get out of this position. Now, a lot of people that are in here, they do like telling the truth. However, at the same time, they do support a narcissist or psychopath. Like I had said also, this also extends beyond just people. This extends to countries, how certain countries vote on matters, how everybody wants to vilify the Russians, because the Russians' gas is going to Europe and the United States doesn't want to lose its money. So it creates tension for the Russians so that they can keep making the money. Because it's not about just making money. Is if money becomes your God, you are forced to lie. That's the point. It's nothing about having a lot of money is the problem. It's that if you're going to be forced to lie to make that money, that's the problem. Because the love of money is a root to all evils. And all the evils has to do with lies. All the evils have to do with lies. Now, we're going to be focusing this in other videos in the future too. Maybe from different angles, or I'll show you some, or not I'll show you. I can't show you nothing. You have to be able to see this because you're already part of the truth. You're going to come to your own truths that are going to show you things that are just unbelievable. And that's because that's what happens. The Holy Spirit will bring you into all the truth. It's teaching you. It's not because you're watching my videos. My videos are just resonating inside you. It's already in you. And imagine the horrors of the people that it's not going to be in. Anyway, God bless.